Also breaking right now on Capitol Hill, Hunter Biden's longtime business associate, whom you see right here, Rob Walker, is before the House Oversight and the House Judiciary Committees. He's there for his closed-door transcribed interview to discuss his role in being an alleged vehicle for the Biden family to receive millions and millions of dollars in foreign funds. Walker subpoenaed back in November of last year by both House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer and Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan. Now, his testimony also comes as part of the House impeachment inquiry, of course, into President Joe Biden. Comer and Jordan saying that Walker set up a limited liability company, quote, used as a vehicle to receive foreign funds and send a percentage of the money to Biden family members. Let's talk about all of today's top stories and bring in our panel now. We have senior advisor for the Trump 2024 campaign, Jason Miller, with us. Alongside him, we have Trump attorney for Save America, Christina Bobb. Great to have you both with us this Friday. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Bianca.
Thank you.
Well, I'd like to get your reaction first as an attorney. Christina, Judge Kaplan is saying he could put Helena Haba in jail. How would you respond to this?
I don't think that obviously, I mean, it didn't happen. And I think it was just a posturing on the part of the judge to try to control Ms. Haba. You know, it's kind of par for the course. I'm not fazed by it one way or another. I think it's, you know, kind of routine at this point. So I think it's just something that happened that, you know, we can talk about, but I don't think it really has any teeth to it.
And just real quick before we kick it over to Jason, I mean, he only got to defend himself for 3 minutes, though. He's getting to, the judge is striking his defense off the record, and all of this really rests on the fact that they're saying he defamed her because he was asserting his innocence. It just sounds so backwards.
It does sound backwards, and I expect this to go up on appeal just like every other case, particularly in New York, that will go up on appeal. Depending on the outcome of those cases. So I firmly believe that most of these cases, if not all of these cases, are election interference for 2024 for the attempt of trying to discourage people from voting for Donald Trump. And I expect on appeal, which likely may not happen until after the election, I think it goes away.
Yes, and not deterring the polls. We're seeing the surge still. Right. And Jason, you know everything that's happening on the trail, but let's talk about Rob Walker today. This also is coming a day after they spoke with another person who dealt with the Chinese energy company, testifying that the Bidens had no expertise, and there's tens of millions of dollars. When you have someone like Rob Walker in front of these committees here, obviously there's paper trails. They finally were able to get some of the statements here. We still don't really understand what the Bidens were being paid for.
Well, very simply put, they were being paid for having the last name Biden. That's the family business. And it has been the family business for decades, is selling access to Joe. And if you remember back to the general election debate in 2020, President Biden stood on that stage, looked the American public in the eye, and said that he had never had any involvement with his son Hunter's business dealings. Well, that's actually been proven to be false now, as we know from the phone calls that have been looped in. We know the email traffic from all the different hidden accounts. We know the meetings that Joe Biden took on behalf of Hunter and other business associates, even with Frank and with James, Joe's brothers. But now we're starting to pull the various pieces of string from the sweater. We're finding out about these extra bank accounts. We're finding out exactly how the funds were wired, how other family members were pulled in. So those comments on the debate stage that Joe Biden made about having nothing to do and not knowing anything about Hunter's business, that's a load that we're going to get to, and I think it's really going to come back to bite Biden as the fall approaches.
I think so too, and I think if Donald Trump, you know, secures the nomination, or if, or many say when, there is the thought that Joe Biden will try to ditch the debates. Real quickly, Jason, Americans would be, I think, very upset about that. What's your take? Does Joe Biden need to face Donald Trump in a debate this year?
Yeah, another great question. President Trump has said over and over that he's ready to debate Joe Biden. I don't think Joe Biden will debate. I think his team will come up with some kind of excuse. I don't know, maybe it's he's only good between noon and 4 p.m., which, by the way, President Trump would debate Joe Biden between noon and 4. That's easy to do. We'll do it anytime, any place. But I don't think at the level of cognitive decline that we're seeing with Joe Biden, his team will ever allow him to take the debate stage.
Well, it remains to be seen. We certainly hope that happens for the sake of the democracy that they so want to ensure and that they say. Let's talk about Fani Willis. Today, the Georgia State Senate voted to create a committee to investigate the Fulton County DA. She's embroiled in a huge scandal with this relationship with prosecutor Nathan Wade, taxpayer-funded money, meetings with White House counsel in Georgia. And also, we know, Christina, the Trump Georgia team called for a dismissal of Willis. They made a filing yesterday also saying that the fact that she's interjecting race intentionally, they're saying that violates special responsibilities as a prosecutor and basically prejudices defendants to deflect attention, that she should be disqualified immediately. What's your take on that move?
I think that's exactly right. She should be disqualified immediately. I think the Georgia Senate is right for opening an investigation into Fani Willis. I'm concerned, where is Attorney General Christopher Carr? I mean, he is the ultimate responsibility, has the ultimate responsibility in Georgia to ensure that the district's attorneys are meeting all ethical and legal requirements. And I have yet to hear a statement from him. So good on the Georgia Senate for actually opening this investigation. There's a lot of questions about Fani Willis's conduct, whether her relationship with the prosecutor is improper, it appears to be improper, whether her financial relationship with this prosecutor appears to be improper, it appears to be improper. The racial and prejudicial statements that she's making that absolutely prejudice the defendants, which our criminal justice system is supposed to be the most fair and impartial, and she's creating conflicts with this inflammatory racial statements that she's making. I mean, she should never have brought this case in the first place. The reason for her bringing that case, which looks like it may have been coordinated with the Biden White House, needs to be investigated. And I would say her second biggest mistake was indicting Mike Roman, who's known to be one of the greatest political opposition researchers in the conservative movement. And by bringing him into this case, which he had nothing to do with, she set him on a trail to do what he does best. Look at where
here we have it. Well, uncover facts that clearly will be coming back to haunt her, perhaps here. Final few seconds to you, Jason. Fani Willis. I mean, the state Senate's doing something, but where's Governor Kemp? Where's the Attorney General of Georgia? Where's the DOJ, frankly?
Well, this is a great question, especially you referenced the visitor logs, the fact that Fani's, I guess we're saying, significant other went to visit the White House, and we're seeing all the traffic and the back and forth. The fact of the matter is, this is directly connected to the Bidens, to the Biden White House. I think the stink here goes way up to the top, and we'll see as the records move forward. But I don't think this is going to be a good deposition for Fani Willis.
Yes, I would agree with that. Great to have you both in. Jason Miller, Christina, Bobb. We'll see you back here real soon.